Hi, everyone, and welcome to Val Talks Pets, the forum for pet parents and enthusiasts alike. Having been in the pet industry for over 10 years now, I'm going to share with you issues and questions that arise as I work with pet parents on a day-to-day basis. I am not a veterinarian, but I do have certifications in canine, feline, small animal, fish and herptile, and avian health and nutrition from the University of California, Davis Extension. Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining me for this episode of Val Talks Pets. You know, as things become more and more challenging for pet rescues, with the increase of surrenders and shelters bursting, it really makes you wonder how all these animals are kept fed and healthy. Well, I have become acquainted with someone who is a true animal hero. Patti Marche is the founder of Paws In Flight, that transports vulnerable dogs and cats to proper shelters for care and adoption. However, the charity has expanded to being an amazing supply chain, providing massive amounts of food to rescues. I'm super happy to have Patti with me on this episode to give us the lowdown on her amazing charity. Hi, Patti. Welcome to Val Talks Pets.
Hey, thanks for inviting me, Val.
Oh, I'm so glad to have you on, because we've had a chance to chat a little bit here and there, but you've got so much to talk about. So you are the founder of Paws In Flight, which is, hopefully I've got this correct and you can tell me if I'm wrong. So basically, it's a rescue organization, or how you began.
We're actually not a rescue.
No, okay.
We help rescue.
Oh, got it. Okay, so you partner with pilots and ground teams to rescue animals from all over, really, and then you get them to adoption shelters. Is that correct? The beginning. I know you've expanded since then. But
So let me tell you how we started.
Yeah.
In June of 20 years ago, as of this June, we started actually helping out a local rescue. It was believe it or not, was Toronto Wildlife Center. And my husband and I, my late husband and I, we built a house in Canada. And we had a woodpecker hit our windows, and I was big on having clean windows, and my husband said, don't clean the windows, we're going to have birds hit it. And sure enough, the next morning we had this woodpecker hit our window. And I was devastated because this guy was like he was like 2 feet long.
So like one of those big pileated woodpeckers.
Yes, pileated woodpecker.
Yeah, that's like Woody Woodpecker was that.
Woody Woodpecker, exactly.
Yeah.
I actually called. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning. I started calling all these necklings and Bolton. And I said, please, I need you to help me with him. I've got him in a box right now. And they said, no, that's good. You've done a good thing. Close the box and take him into us. I didn't know how to take care of a woodpecker. Anyway, so I brought him into this first vet, and they said, no, he's fine. Wings aren't broken. He's just got a major concussion.
Oh, wow.
And they actually set me up to bring him to Toronto Wildlife Center. Okay. So anyway, so I brought him in to Toronto Wildlife Center, and within 4 days, they released him. I said, wait, am I not supposed to go get him? He says, no, the woodpecker will find his way back to you.
Oh.
And I didn't know this, right? So, and I went like, oh my God, how can I help you? They said, well, we need food and donations all the time. And I said, and at the time, my big brother was a national sales manager for Royal Canin.
Oh, okay.
And he was like a 17-year veteran for Royal Canin. And I called Marshall and I said, Marsh, I said, listen, I need your help. I said, these guys helped me save this woodpecker. I need food. And he says, oh my God. He says, what do they need? And they said they need kitten food, they need small kibble food for dogs, for birds, but primarily kitten and cat food, right? So anyway, so he says, I got 5 skids on the dock right now for you. And I said, 5
skids? Holy.
And it was like, I only had a small Volkswagen truck at the time, right?
Wow.
Anyways, and I said, are you kidding me? I said, he says, well, Keith's got a truck and trailer. I said, get him to come out with a trailer. And my husband, my late husband. So as I said, Keith's going to go out and get this food. So then he goes out and gets it, and he befriends the guys at the distribution dock, and he says, do you want to come back tomorrow? We got another 20 skids for you. He says, 20 skids?
Oh my goodness.
So it started from there.
Wow.
And then Mississauga, Maine, I reached out to Mississauga, Maine because I adopted a cat from Mississauga, Maine. And then they said, hey, I said, what do you guys need? I have the foods were walking in. And they said, what? I said, I can help you. And so then I actually started delivering food to Mississauga, Maine, because they're a foster-based organization, right?
Oh. Okay.
And so it just went from there. And then Mississauga, Maine said, can you help this cat group up in Sunderland? And I still help them to this day. This is going on my 20th year helping Friends of Forsaken Animals. Sonia Tretchan and her husband Ingo, they're an amazing couple. They've actually saved and rescued over 10,000 kitty cats.
Oh my goodness.
And they've actually stopped the production of over 250,000 cats.
Through spay-neuter program?
For their spay-neuter program, exactly. Wow. And I've actually helped them out for years. It's like, in June, it'll be 20 years since I've known them, and I've been helping them out since then, right? So that's, and you know what? Back in those days, we didn't have a name because everybody just said, oh, call Patti at this number, right?
Right.
So I didn't have a Paws In Flight, and I didn't have a website. I didn't have anything else, right? So it's only been like 7 years ago since we created the name Paws In Flight because we had to come up with this name. And everybody said, what's your organization name? I said, I don't have one. I said, I'm an independent. Just want to help. We need to have an organization name on the actual formula. And I was taking my pilot's license at Brampton Flight Center. And that's when I linked up with these pilots that were helping me fly food up to Timmins and to Sudbury, and then bringing back puppies for us, right? So I said, oh my God, I got the greatest name, Paws In Flight.
Yeah. And
I registered the site, which I have today, which I haven't updated the website yet, Carol, because all we did was animal transfers. But we do so much more. We do animal transfers, we do vet transfers, we do pick up and drop off of food. We organize actually shipments to the Caribbean. Right now we're shipping to St. Lucia to the Bruno Project. Vanessa's coming on Saturday. She's picking up 4,000 pounds of food to ship to St. Lucia on Saturday. I ship to the Ark Animal Rescue in Barbados. I deliver to the Cuba Animal Rescue, which is Gladys Ochoa. Dr. Gladys Ochoa is her name, and she runs the Veradero Animal Rescue.
Oh.
You can't ship there because we could not afford to ship food to there. We have to deliver it personally to them, right? So that's why I always try to get a friend of mine to come with me. I said, you take 50 pounds, I'll take 50 pounds, and we have a little travel agents that we work with in our travel industry, and we get them to deliver food, right? So, but Dr. Ochoa is amazing. I actually sat on a flight the second time I flew to Veradero for meeting her. And this gentleman sitting next to me said, what's your purpose of going to Veradero? I said, I'm bringing supplies down for an animal rescue. He says, he says, which one? I said, Veradero Animal Rescue. And he says, Gladys? I said, you know Gladys? He says, Gladys and I went to school together. He says, in Veradero. And I said, you gotta be kidding me.
No way.
And I said, this is like the smallest world happening. He said,
yeah.
Let me tell you, he says, how much of a special person she is, and a veterinarian. Because they get free veterinarian college there in Cuba, right?
Oh, okay.
So anyway, he says, she gets a call at 2:00 in the morning. There's a puppy on the side of the road. She gets up and she goes and she gets the puppy. I said, are you kidding me? And I said, oh my God, you're making me love her even more than I thought I loved her. And I said, this woman is amazing. Yeah, so I bring down, and it's so funny when I get to the resorts because I represent Malia and Malia Properties. I represent all the hotels in Cuba, right? But Malia Properties, I get there and the girls of the hotel go like, Patty, I know you're looking for stuff for the animal rescues here. We got this box of towels. We got this box of stuff that's ripped. Do you want to have this for your girls that are coming for the rescue? I said, yes. And organize all that when I get there. And they're just so gracious because they can't actually have their guests at a 5-star hotel with towels that are ripped.
Yeah.
They can't do it, right?
Yeah.
So that's Cuba.
Wow.
And we ship to St. Lucia. I've got the group coming in on Saturday. They're picking up 4,000 pounds of food that are shipping to St. Lucia, which is called the Bruno Project. Vanessa is a day nurse in St. Catharines, and I work with her. She's an amazing gal. And honestly, I swear to God, twice a year, we do 6 skids of food to St. Lucia, which lasts them the entire year for the dogs there.
So what planes is the food going on, and how do you coordinate that? Like, it wouldn't be like a charter flight or anything. Like, what planes are picking up this food? And
so with St. Lucia Animal Rescue, Eastern Caribbean shippers, it's all marine shipping, right?
Okay.
So they usually ship out of Montreal. They transport the food and the skids to Montreal, and it goes from there down the seaboard to the Caribbean, right? So it's all marine shipping. When it comes to if we were to ship for airlines, we couldn't afford a shipment.
Oh, okay. I get it.
So
it's all going on vessels.
It's all going like Maersk, or it's going with MSC.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So and their subsidiaries, right? So up until 8 months ago, we were shipping a skid of 1,200 pounds of food for $250 Canadian, and they were received for $50 US.
Oh.
It just went up 2 months ago because of the cost of fuel to 380 Canadian.
Yeah.
So it's actually,
Who pays for that?
The Bruno Project here,
Okay.
Vanessa and Joel, their team, both fundraise to get the money. And if not, they don't have enough money, they pay for it out of their own pocket, like I do with Paws In Flight.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we pay a lot out of our own pocket. My husband passed away 10 years ago, and the shipments that I have to pick up from Pet Value is our biggest donor.
Wow.
The biggest donor of food. And if it wasn't for them, Bruno Project, Ark Animal Rescue in Barbados, everybody would, Toronto Humane is actually they also help us out, but they're like a secondary, they're a subsidiary donator.
Mm-hmm.
But Pet Value in Ontario are to die for how much food that they donate to us. We're up to close to 15,000. On an average, we're at 15,000 pounds a month that they donate to us. Skid accidents, bags that have been broken. That are retaped, and we get them all, and we know that they've never made it out of the warehouse, so the food is safe.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Right? So we're totally comfortable with giving it to the rescues. And I said, guys, I'm a tape expert, by the way. I even have people that donate rolls of tape for me. I even actually talk to companies that actually make the rolls of Scotch tape. And I got 4 boxes of wide tape donated to me so we could tape the actual leaking bags so we can give them to rescuers.
That's amazing. Like, you have been able to tap into so many resources.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
It is amazing.
Now, I'm telling you. And you know what? It's so funny. Anna, who I became really good friends with, she runs the kitten and cat program for the Alice Humane group. She goes, Patty, I can't believe, she goes, you just sent us 3 donors that bring us cat food right now. And they said, we don't know who to give this cat food to. And I said, oh my God, please call Anna. Please call Anna. She needs food. She needs food, right?
Yeah.
Yes, right? As she goes, are you like the biggest networker ever? And I said, no. I said, I'm an East Coast person that likes to talk to people.
Wow. So you, yeah, I guess you really are. You are at the center of a network that you've been able to accumulate. Now, do you do like rescues in Northern Ontario or anywhere else across Canada?
I will help. Listen, Aspen Valley Wildlife is the most northern group that we've been able to help because one of their volunteers who just moved to Bracebridge, and he's an amazing guy. Steve is absolutely amazing. He actually runs a seasonal company in Oakville. He's a high-end landscape design specialist.
Mm-hmm.
And he's in Oakville from April to November. Mm-hmm. And he actually comes to my place because he zigzags up to my place in Caledon before he goes up to Northern Ontario. Mm-hmm. And he picks them up like 4,000 and 5,000 pounds of food each time.
My goodness.
And he does that. Yeah, he does that every 2 weeks. He's an amazing guy.
Wow.
He has his little tractor and his landscaping stuff on his trailer, but he has enough room that he can actually handle another 4,000 pounds of food. Steve is absolutely amazing. And the crew at Aspen Valley Wildlife in Muskoka, they love him to pieces because he leaves my place and he goes straight to their place, and then he goes home to his wife. And when he gets home to his wife, he says, my wife loves me for all the animals that I've been able to help.
Yeah.
And he says she doesn't get upset with me for how late I am getting home because she knows that I'm helping out all these animals.
Yeah, yeah. So it's domestic plus wildlife then too. Yeah.
It's amazing. And he's a great guy. Plus, when Aspen is loaded with food, he still comes and he helps out a dog rescue in Bracebridge called Carter's Animal Rescue. Mm-hmm. And he brings food to them. And the last time he was here, he brought them 4,000 pounds of dog food. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so, but God love, and I can't say enough about Pet Value. Mm-hmm. My contacts there, Kay and Michael, they have been such givers. And before I took over the program, there was a group called Rescue Foodie, and it was a really sad ending. But Rescue Foodie was run by a gentleman. Derek was his first name, and Derek was an amazing guy. He worked for a company in Toronto that actually food space, and in December of 2019, Derek actually was going into the Etobicoke Creek, and he walked out on the creek to actually rescue a baby deer that was on the ice. And he fell to the ice and he drowned. The people were on the ice, on the actual bridge on the Etobicoke Creek. You know that circular bridge at the Etobicoke Creek?
Wow.
And they were like, no, 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 no. And anyway, so they ran. But by the time they got there, he had drowned. They called actually 911, and that was the death of Rescue Foodie. And I got all of my food for my rescues from Derek before that.
Oh, I see.
So anyway, and that was in 2019. But before that, it was actually Royal Canadian. And anyway, so I just continued on with what I did and went like, oh my God, he was just turning 50.
Wow, that's awful.
Yeah, it was really sad.
Very.
It was a sad ending for Rescue Foodie, right? And Derek Kowalczyk, and he was just a great guy. He major animal lover. I mean, he went out in the middle of the night to rescue a baby deer off the ice in the Etobicoke Creek and drowned, saving the deer.
Yeah.
And they said he saved the deer.
Yeah.
But he fell to the ice and he drowned.
Terrible.
And they couldn't get to him fast enough. But anyway, so when I called, but they were primaries for Pet Value at the time.
Oh, I see.
Then I started calling the warehouse and said, look, my buddy Derek, he died. I said, listen, I don't want his program to go down because I know the girls can't handle it. I will take over the program and I will continue to help the rescues that need help. And that's what I did.
That's amazing. So did you notice that, so has the demand for food for the rescues, has it increased since COVID?
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It has increased drastically.
Because you would know, you've been doing it for 20 years, so...
seriously, I see actually now, and you know what's it's interesting, Val.
Mm-hmm.
In the last 5 years, I've noticed that people that were embarrassed to say that I can't afford to feed my animals,
Mm-hmm.
they've actually come forward and said, I can't afford to feed my animals. I need help.
Yeah, yeah.
They didn't do that before.
Mm.
And that's what my feelings are. And that's what my opinion is on what's happening with animals and stuff. And you know what? I actually help out a senior center in Bolton.
Mm-hmm.
They would not say shit if their mouth was full of it. They would not feed themselves to feed their animals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you know what? That broke my heart.
Mm-hmm.
I see this happening so much because seniors will go like, I'll have a bowl of soup today so I can feed my dog or I can feed my cat.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no. And that's when I partnered with this program after Rescue Foodie died. I partnered with the Daily Food Bread in Etobicoke.
Mm-hmm.
Paul, who runs the transportation division, was referred to me by one of my contractors and said, oh my God, we'll split the food. We'll help you because we need food too, but we can only use the small bags, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's seniors that was coming in. They couldn't handle a 40-pound bag or a 20-pound bag.
Yeah.
They can only handle like a 12-pound bag and below, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would have to, after he would deliver the food to me, or he would deliver it to the warehouse in Etobicoke, I would have to go in there with my volunteers, separate the small bags, put the big bags aside, and separate the skids. Because everything was just, at Pet Valia, they just dump it into one bin, right?
Yeah.
And which is great. And I'm totally happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
So we would go in and take the small bags and put here, and the big bags and put here.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was happy.
Yeah.
It didn't take us long because I had like 4 or 5 volunteers that did it with me, right? So,
well, I think you've touched on something interesting there because, if food banks have, I know of one in particular that locally that has a division specifically for pets. So if you're using the food bank, you can also get food for your pets at that food bank. And if we can get other food banks to realize that what we want to do is support people that are having a bit of a hard time, not only for themselves, but so that they don't have to give up their pets. This is a really, really important time for them to have the pets. But it's say they're struggling, so how can they feed their pets? And they're feeding them their own food, and there's, so it's a kind of this vicious circle. So we need food banks everywhere to understand the value of putting in a division for pets so that it can get a bank so that they can come in and get that, as opposed to giving up their pets to a humane society, whatever, that they're relinquishing them, as opposed to being able to keep them, which is what we would prefer, right? But yes, being able to feed them, is a real issue. So we need to find a way to have people be able to access all of this, like, available food that's going to rescues, but also for people that are struggling to keep their animals.
No, exactly. And seriously, if they want to send me an email, I'm at patricia@pawsinflight.ca.
Okay.
If they're struggling in the areas that they're in, I can guide them to areas that we supply to and help them out. Seriously, even Neil, my God, he's my second biggest supplier, Toronto Humane Society. They get donations like crazy. And you know what? He helps me out so much because he knows the groups I help and he knows the food banks I help. And he's just amazing. And he's a great guy. He's originally from Belfast in Ireland. And he's been in Canada now for 9 years. And he's a major animal lover. And he calls me all the time. He says, Patti, I've got 20 skids and we only asked for 2. He says, can you come and get some of this food?
Sure.
I went, absolutely. So I link him up with Anna from Alice in Maine. She's like a great girl when he has cat food. And I link him up with Lori she does the food for Mississauga in Maine. And she does cat and dog. And I've linked them up together, and I've linked up a few other groups with them because I work in the travel industry, right? So I'm on a plane a lot. So I go like, hey, listen, Neil, if you have food when I'm away, you got to call these girls, right? So
how many people or how many groups have you ever tallied how many groups that you're getting food to?
Oh my God, right now?
Yeah.
I am at 32 groups that I supply to.
Wow.
Yeah. Some of them only once a year because they're small foster-based groups like Paws Above in Newmarket. Okay, here's some of the groups. So the Daily Bread Food Bank, they're my ones I partner with. I usually do at least quarter of the food that comes into us goes to them, and I take all the smaller bags. Blue Diamond for Pets. Wendy, she's the founder. She's in Tottenham, and she takes all the difficult dogs that nobody wants to take, or the senior dogs that nobody wants. And she's an amazing gal. She really is. Alice in Maine, the cat division, because the dog division gets huge amounts of food from Mars, but they don't get cat food. So I provide them with the cat food. Yeah, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, Aspen Valley Wildlife. Oh my God, every bag of kibble, they'll take it. And I've given them I do about 20,000 pounds of food a year for them. Mississauga, Maine, Lori Russell. We trade off food all the time. It's a give and take. Woodlands Wildlife in Minden. I help out Monica Melikar. She's an amazing gal. She does all wildlife there. She uses kitten, puppy, and whatever it takes for them to get the animals released in the fall. The Birder Project, they're coming on Saturday to my place. They're picking up 4,000 pounds of food that they're shipping to St. Lucia.
Okay. Does St. Lucia have a big problem with like stray dogs?
They do.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and this is going to be my third shipping with them right now. Vanessa DeLine, she's a day nurse at St. Catherine's Hospital. She's a great gal. And her volunteers, Joel and Amanda, they come and they pick it up. This time, actually, we have to manually load. So I've got 3 of my volunteers here to help us load and restack the skids. And she goes straight to the actual shipping company. It's called Eastern Caribbean Shipping Company. So they ship directly. So we can ship 1,400 pounds of food for $380.
That's amazing.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
And Pet Value is the star in St. Lucia for the food that we ship there.
Really?
And then there's Pets Alive Niagara. We met Village of Hope in Welland. They're a pet food bank there as well. And Pets Alive Niagara bring a lot of animals in from high-killed shelters in the States. God love them. And they just don't want to see them euthanized. So they bring them in to get them adopted in the Niagara Peninsula. And we also help out Lost and Found Feral Cat Rescue in Innisfil. Betty Buffon, she's an amazing gal. She's in Alcona. Actually, believe it or not, in 2 weeks, we're bringing her up 2,000 pounds of cat food for her cat rescue. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so we've got it all set aside in my garage. Then there's Paws Above Rescue. They're based in Newmarket, and they're all foster-based. And I only help them out like 3 times a year because they only have like 30 or 40 dogs in foster. And so they don't need as much as like the bigger rescues, right?
Yeah.
And we provide to the Acton Food Bank. We provide to the Peel Living Senior Center in Bolton. And the Calvin Animal Shelter. We bring them food when they call us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the prime groups that we help out with.
That's amazing. Now, you said earlier that you were getting your pilot's license. Did you actually complete that?
Yes. 2 months before, and this is how I started. This is why my rescue group became Paws In Flight. I was 2 months away from getting my private pilot's license and before COVID hit. And I was actually flying at a Brampton airport. And then, of course, everything got shut down.
Mm-hmm.
I actually worked out with about 3 of the pilots who we joke around in the pilot industry and we call it like, hey, I'm going for a flight today for my $500 hamburger. And that's what they call it. They fly up to Aurelia, they go to Barrie, they go to Sudbury or whatever, and
burger.
they call it a $500 hamburger because that's how much it costs them in maintenance, fuel, and the hamburger, right?
Right.
So I said, listen, your $500 hamburger should be turned into, let's help out these animals and these rescues. So I talked into a few of the pilots when they had space
Mm-hmm.
to take in like 1,000 pounds of food and come back with like 3 or 4 dogs.
Oh.
So that's how I started doing the Paws In Flight name in 2016. And I did have 3 or 4 pilots that did it. And then, of course, COVID hit. They lost their jobs. Some of them had to sell their planes because they couldn't afford it anymore. And I kept the name of Paws In Flight because I thought it was cool.
So you're not transporting dogs anymore?
We are.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah.
So where did you transport most of the dogs from? And
Pearson Airport to Allison, Maine to Upper Credit. We go to another rescue up in Agila. We actually delivered to Collingwood, to Georgian Triangle.
So where do the dogs come from?
They come from Manitoba, Northern Ontario.
Yeah.
Some of them come in from Texas, from the High Kill shelters.
Yeah. Well, most of the listeners of my show, they know that. So our dog is from Northern Ontario. He's from Whitefish Bay First Nations. Now he wasn't flown or anything like that. He came down on a tractor trailer. Yeah, but So I wondered if you were accessing some of the northern dogs up in Manitoba, Ontario, etc.
You know of anybody who can get food to Northern Ontario, Northern Manitoba? My garage is always filled with 5,000 to 6,000 pounds of food.
I have a list of all of the northern dog rescues that I have.
Oh my God! Listen,
so we'll share that. I will. I'll share that with you. Yeah, because
I have loaded up all the rescues that I know in Northern Ontario. They said, Patti, we don't have any more space. We don't have more space. Brutal Project's coming. They're picking up 4,000 pounds on Saturday. Pets Alive Niagara picking up 1,200 pounds on Tuesday. And after that, I will and my Blue Diamond Rescue guys, they only have 15 dogs right now. And I go okay, I need to know. This stuff has to move because I do have a 1,200 square foot garage. And I know that to a lot of people, 1,200 square feet, well, that's big, but it's not big enough. And I went we're double stacked on the skids.
Yeah.
So I had 20 skids delivered on Friday. Oh my God. I'm only down to 16 right now.
Okay. So you need to,
we have to move as fast as we get the food in. We have to move it because we've got another 12 to 15 waiting for us.
So do you have any, is there any pilots that are still hanging on that will do some runs for you? No,
No, and that's the sad part.
What about you? Oh, you don't have a plane.
Well, no, I don't have a plane. And I started back actually the year after COVID ended, which was a year ago. I have to redo all my cross countries again and stuff, but I don't have a plane. And the guys that I was dealing with had a plane, but sadly, there's not a lot of getting pilots. They're okay with paying that $500 hamburger fee, but they don't want to do that extra $100 to take 1,000 pounds of food and pick up a puppy and bring them back.
Right, I see.
Yeah, so that's my tough part with them. Being in the travel industry, I'm just starting now to find a lot of amazing travel agents that are willing to actually take suitcases to Cuba, to Mexico, to St. Lucia, to Barbados, because we as travel agents, we get free suitcases. We get free 50 pounds. I have 50-pound suitcases ready to go. If you know of any travel agents or any people that are not travel agents that are willing to go to any country that needs food. And I even have the suitcases that they can take and they can look and see what's in there and just leave it in the country. They don't even have to bring back the suitcase.
Wow.
I have suitcases that are donated to us, and nice suitcases.
My goodness. There's a lot of Canadians fly to Cuba over the winter,
Yes. And I have so many nice suitcases with wheels that they're overjoyed to actually get because they can't afford suitcases there.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Seriously. And honestly, any country. And these are beautiful suitcases. I have like 10 in my garage right now, ready to go. And Cuba, they need female hygiene products, which we load up. It's not just for animals.
Yeah,
right?
I understand. Yeah, there's people that do that.
T-shirts. We have everything. You name it, we have it. And Val, I'd love for you to come to my place sometime in Caledon. I'm north of Caledon East.
Yeah.
Come down and I'll show you my garage. And everyone walks into my garage, they go like, "Oh my God, you have like a warehouse."
A warehouse. You do. You have a mini warehouse. There's no doubt.
A mini warehouse.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I ship stuff to the Caribbean, internationally. Every time I go to Europe, I'm always bringing stuff for animal rescues there.
And how do you touch base with the animal rescues that are when you're going, say, into Europe or whatever?
I have a list.
I do.
have a list. Yeah, I've got a group in Athens. I've got a group in Mykonos. I've got a group in Santorini. I've got a group in Varadero. I've got another one in Cayo Coco. I've got groups in the Mayan Riviera. I've got groups on the Pacific coast in Mexico. I've collected this list for like the last 10 years. And we're like, "Oh, you're going there. Could you bring a suitcase?" I even said to my clients, I said, "Would you do me a favor and bring a suitcase? They'll come and pick it up at your hotel. You can leave it at reception. You don't even have to be there."
Wow.
And they go like, "Seriously?"
And the rescue comes?
They come to the hotel and they pick it up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And there's no problem bringing like animal food into the country?
No, as long as it's not beef. Some countries like Mexico and Cuba will not allow us to bring beef or lamb, which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
I bring chicken, turkey, fish. They're okay with that 100%.
Okay. So something to double check with you if they're traveling to make sure that they've got okay.
And I know which countries are okay with this,
yeah,
okay with not, but we just actually make the same rules for every country. No beef, no lamb, no red meat.
Oh, okay.
Chicken, turkey, fish, no problem for any country.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah,
just
so
make it simple.
Keep it simple.
Got it.
And freeze-dried food. Oh, my God.
Yeah, of course.
The bags of freeze-dried food. Pet Value. Oh, my God. The warehouse guys have been so amazing. They have given us so many bags of freeze-dried food. And all they have to do is add a little water with it, and it becomes food for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's amazing.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
No, seriously. Dr. Gladys Ochoa, and she can't stop hugging me. Every time I come to see her, she goes, I've linked her up with like 4 travel agents that go there on a regular basis. And they come to my place. They see the food that I'm loaded in the suitcase. So I don't want them to be surprised when they get to the airport. Because you have to trust the person that you're shipping food with, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I said, look, guys, here. I said, this is what we're shipping. And they go like, oh, my God, this is amazing. Seriously, Patti, that's all we have to do. I said, yes. And the tape is shut. Do the twist ties there of the auto tie clips for them. Seal it. And they're going for 5 days. So their clothes is good in a carry-on.
Yeah, that's true.
So the 50-pound bag check-in is easy, right?
Now, do you have other veterinarians that sort of work a little bit with you or help out for some of the dogs that are coming in from out of country or from north? Or
well, actually, one of the newest veterinarians I met him in Tottenham. He's an amazing guy, Dr. Sammy Itzrat. He's actually working out of he's one of the main vets out of Dixie Animal Hospital right now. He's an amazing animal lover. He's my heart and soul for veterinarians that I need to see, because you don't see this a lot. You see a lot of animal or vets or whatever that are all about the money.
Few, yes.
This man is all about helping animals.
And that's why usually they get into it, because they love animals, right? I mean, my vet says that. He goes, it's really hard sometimes, he says, because people like you or people like me, we get into it because we love animals, and it's frustrating sometimes when they're up against like corporatization and things like that. So
and actually, Dr. Sammy is right now helping me with one of the new staff members with Pet Value Warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
He's a graduated veterinarian from Somalia,
mm-hmm.
but because his English is not quite up there,
Mm-hmm.
and he needs to do like 6 months to a year of training before he become a vet in Canada.
Yeah.
Dr. Sammy's helping me to get him to get his veterinarian certificate in Canada. Do you know how many veterinarians we still need in Canada?
Well, we have a big shortage right now.
We have a huge shortage.
Yeah, I did an episode on the shortage with veterinarians in Canada.
It's
quite
absolutely
something.
incredible.
Yeah.
And do you know how many unemployed veterinarians are in Cuba? And I'm working with an immigration officer right now to bring some in from Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
They graduate over 100 a year at the veterinarian program there.
Mm.
And they can't leave. They become volunteers in the veterinarian community, or they become volunteers in the human medical world.
Mm.
They graduate over 100 a year.
Yeah.
And I'm working with this immigration officer right now who I met on my way back from Veradero 2 years ago. And it's taken us to this point where the Canadian government said, well, listen, let's give them a 2-year residency in Canada because Cuba loves Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I said, we have to bring these people to Canada. We need their expertise. And they're trained like amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So even Dr. Gladys,
Mm-hmm.
the poor girl makes, are you ready for this? She says she's lucky she makes like $60 US a day.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. And she has people come in with their animals. She goes, what can you give me? She goes, we only have like $20 or $30 US. Yeah. And she takes it because she wants to help the animal, right?
Yeah.
So,
sure.
Yeah, so we're pretty spoiled in Canada. We really are. Yeah. But we do need more veterinarians here. Big time.
Well, it's certainly amazing what you've been able to accomplish with all of this, and how many animals.
Oh my God! Listen, and I got to tell you a funny story because Malia is one of my biggest clients. Right? I do a lot of bookings with Malia International, and the Malia in Veradero. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I get to the hotel and I go like, okay, guys, you don't know who I am, you don't know what I do, but listen, did you bring your own shampoo, your body gels, and your own soaps? Oh, of course, yeah, we bring our own stuff. I said, so you're not using what you guys have in your room every day?
Mm-hmm.
I said, could you help me out with the local animal rescue? They could really use it.
Oh, really?
And every day I came home, and I said, oh my God, I'm on the same floor with you guys. And I talked to them as I was leaving the room, right? And I was always on the 7th floor, my adults only, and we're taking the elevator down. And anyway, so I go like, I'm happy to. And I said, listen, I don't want you to rape and pillage the hotel, but at the same time, I would go to a hotel and say, listen, you guys have towels and sheets and whatever that you can help me out with the animal rescue. They're coming my second last day I'm here. And my 50 pounds that I brought there ended up being like 150 pounds. For them to pick up, which is great because all my neighbors said, hey, it's Alex and Sandra, you're your neighbors. We talked to you in the elevator. We collected I said, oh my God, you guys are amazing. I leave, thank you. Keys on their doors.
Yeah, for sure.
It was like, hey, that's great because it's all billed to us, right?
Well, it's amazing what you've accomplished with all of these, and your dedication to helping the animals is quite something, I have to say. And you've created an amazing network.
And you know what the amazing thing about it is now? All these girls that I'm helping at the hotel with personal products, clothing, whatever, all have animals. The first time that I went there, and there's a dollar discount store in Brampton I go to. whenever he gets animals, collars and leashes in there, he calls me. I said, please call me when you get stuff in. And he says, if you like take 50 items or plus, he says, I'll only charge you $1 per item. I said, okay, you're on. So I go there because in Cuba, a lot of the people can't afford collars and leashes for their dogs. So they use a rope that they make there out of, are you ready for this? The plant that the Mexicans make tequila out of.
Yeah.
So that's how, and the dogs' necks are chafed. There's whatever. And anyway, so I bring down bottles of colloidal silver for the rescues.
Yeah.
And anyway, so this guy actually gives me all these nice collars and leashes. And so this vet, God love her heart, Dr. Gladys Ochoa, she goes around and says, can we take that rope off your dog's neck and fix his neck up with some antibiotics and some colloidal silver, and we're going to put a nice collar on him, and we're going to give you a proper leash for him. They go like, oh, see.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
I bring, the first time I went down there, I brought 50 collars and 50 leashes. And all the actual hotel staff, when they were showing me pictures of the dogs, oh my God, please don't tell me you have a rope collar for the dog's neck. Well, for your collar, $20. And so I go down every day with a bag of leashes and collars. That's my first trip to Cuba, like 4 years ago. I go down to the actual beach hut and I go like, come. I said, promise me you're going to take that rope collar off your dog and you're going to spray this on your dog's neck and you're going to put this proper collar around your dog's neck. And he goes like, okay, I will. I promise. I promise, Solota. I promise. And I said, okay, I want to see a picture tomorrow. They come back tomorrow. They show me a picture and they're grateful. They really are. Awesome. They said, we can't afford anything else.
Yeah.
A dog collar will cost them a day's salary.
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
And it's hard on my soul to see their dog has to suffice with a rope that chafes his neck. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, so we do everything locally, internationally. Listen, I was in Dubrovnik actually 2 weeks ago and I was feeding stray cats there and donating to the actual Dubrovnik cat location. I just did a donation to the day to spay and neuter actually 2 animals. And they're an amazing organization.
What?
And it's ongoing.
Well, I think you are amazing. And if anybody wants to get in touch with you with regards to any kind of, animals for like where they can get for puppies coming in or help in that regard, or donations, like maybe supplies, like we just talked about, they can get you at Patricia at pawsinflight.ca, correct?
Yeah, perfect.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay. That's great. Well, I'm so happy that you were able to take the time to chat with me today, because I think I don't think people know that there's an amazing person like you out there that's creating such a network to help all these animals and really help out all the rescues and the donations and the banks.
Yeah,
it's amazing. You are doing a great job.
The organizations that I help, like Anna from Alcine, Maine, the girls actually from the Cal Now shelter, groups from Aspen, Every Life, they're absolutely amazing.
Well, I think you are too.
Really. Oh yeah, seriously. I can't do what they do because every time I go to the Alcine Maine shelter and Anna goes, come on in, let me show you the animals. I said, I can't go.
We'd be going home with them all. Yeah.
I can't do it. You can't do it, Captain. So I just have to stay outside and I pick up our stuff off. Or open bags of food from the wildlife centers. I bring them all the sealed food that they need for their in-house guys. But honestly, I can't do what these people do. And that's why I decided to do Paws In Flight, to be a supply chain for the rescuers.
It's a great thing. Yeah. Your supply chain is fantastic.
I'm going to step outside. Don't take me inside. I can't go with you there.
Kids. Well, thanks, Patti. I'm gonna leave it there for now, and I appreciate it, and I think it's gonna be great for people to know what you do.
God bless you, and God bless so much the podcast that you do. And I owe you a huge thank you at the end of this call to Pet Value Warehouse as well as Toronto Humane Society. They're my two biggest suppliers.
You got it.
Yeah, I couldn't do what they do if it wasn't for them.
Well, that's amazing. That's amazing. I hope they appreciate that. So
now they do. And I love them to pieces.
All right. Well,
big hugs.
Thank you. Big hugs. And we'll say bye for now.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Val.
Thanks, Patti. Take care.
Have a good day. Bye, you. Bye.
Wow. I am so impressed how Patti has been able to become such an important part in providing food to so many shelters and pet rescues in need, not to mention the transport service as well. What Paws In Flight provides is an absolute lifeline for those dealing with homeless pets. If you would like to donate or volunteer to Paws In Flight, you can contact Patti at patricia@pawsinflight.ca. I'm sure she'd love to hear from you. So many thanks to Patti Marche from Paws In Flight and for all her amazing work and info because, as I say, knowing is caring. Thank you for listening to Val Talks Pets. Please remember to follow or subscribe to ensure that you never miss an episode. To really help the show and to make it easier for others to find, please rate and review each episode that you find interesting and helpful. And don't forget that you can also email me at val@valtalkspets.com with topics you would like me to address or with any questions you may have. Also, check out my website at valtalkspets.com and let me know what you think and how we can improve upon it. Thanks for caring.